My name is Jeff Rogers, and this past July 15th, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of brain cancer, and the prognosis for that cancer is not good. They estimate the life expectancy to be about 15 months. And needless to say, when I got that news, I was very troubled and very scared. I was scheduled to meet several days later with our surgeon, and the morning, in the middle of the night before that meeting, I was paid a visit by Jesus. And that visit was as real as if I were sitting here talking to anybody right now. In that visit, he provided me with a tremendous sense of peace. And I knew that in that visit, he provided me with a tremendous sense of peace. And I knew that peace was something I was not capable of producing myself, that it had to have come from him. And I was so appreciative to have that and to be able to go forward with a feeling of peace about this whole situation. So this past summer, our family vacationed in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is a beautiful chain of islands and extremely peaceful. And Jesus took me there to talk, and it just really struck me that he took me to a place that was so special to me and so beautiful, and that I could so easily relate to. So he met me where I was. In that conversation that we had, we talked about heaven, and as we stood on this point and looked out across the water, I could see an island As we stood on this point and looked out across the water, I could see an island in the distance. Jesus explained that this island was heaven, and the only way to get to this island was on a ferry boat, and it was docked right where we were standing. And Jesus was the captain of this ferry. And Jesus was the captain of this ferry, and the only way to get to heaven was on this ferry with a ticket that he would provide. Jesus went on to explain that that ticket had already been purchased by him for me. And it was acquired by his love, not by anything I had done, not by anything I had purchased. It was just a gift. Since I was diagnosed, time has kind of broken out for me in three different sections. The first is today, and I have really had a lot of peace, God's peace, in living today for today. And that's not something I've ever been very good at. I'm a planner and I'm always looking ahead. But I have really gotten the hang of living today for what it is worth and enjoying the quality of that day. And that has been a tremendous learning experience for me. So that's kind of phase one of how time breaks out for me right now. The second phase is everything after today through the end of my life here on earth. And if I have any anxiety at all, that's where it's tucked away, because life goes on. It's not a perfect place. There are issues to deal with, and I have to really work hard to try to continue to find the peace during that segment of my life. The third and final phase is life in eternity in heaven. And I have also felt a tremendous amount of peace about that. And it is just as real to me as it has ever been, and provides me great comfort. And what I find amazing about all of this is I would think that I'd want to pray for health. I want to live, forever. But that's not the prayer. The prayer is for the prayer is for God's presence, and He has shown me that as I go through this, He is always at my side. He will never leave me, and at the end of the day, that matters much more than whether I live 1 more year, 5 more years, 20 more years, 40 more years. And that has been a tremendous learning experience and growing experience for me.